Welcome to Podtendo's Top 10 list. Listen to the show, we'll explain it. I can't explain it during the opening. Enjoy! Hey guys, welcome to the first Podtendo show of the new year. We are here on a almost New Year's Day, fresh start of the new year. Probably just finished wrapping up our James Bond marathon from the day before. Normally, years past, we review a movie. So we talk about a whole movie that we could watch. And we say, this is our movie. Cool. Awesome. But we don't have that today, unfortunately. We are looking at kind of basing on our list from last year. So if you're unfamiliar, we did top 10 lists of varying degree. We ended with kind of a top 10 Are You Afraid of the Dark episode for Halloween, which was fun, which is so I really liked. So this year, we're going to start at the top of the show. I'm your co-host, Mick, and my co-host,
Tyson.
His favorite film series happens to be James Bond. So instead of looking at just one James Bond, we're going to be looking at the top 10 IMDb James Bond rated movies, plus Tyson's personal list. We'll talk about the movie the second time it comes up on the list and go from there. So we're looking at lots of James Bonds today. How exciting.
Yes. Well, lots is a loose term. This might be one of our shorter lists because in the world of James Bond movies, you have the standouts. Huh?
You didn't send me your list.
Oh, I was going to do it as a surprise, but...
I mean, that's fine as long as you can keep track of everything.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, I have it.
Okay.
But, yeah, so...
As a surprise.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, I was going to... Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, but anyways, let's just get into it.
All right. So starting at the bottom, I'm going to play the role of IMDb. I am as well-versed as any reviewer in IMDb ever has been. And I'm going to tell you why I gave these ratings to this. So at number 10, I have only rated 6.8. It's the final Daniel Craig. It is Spectre.
Second to last.
Second to last. Just like I said, I'm an expert on James Bond. So the second to last, 2015, 6.8, Spectre. I got 10.
Yep.
Who do you got number 10?
My number 10, I got Dr. No.
Okay, all right.
Which comes up later on your list.
Yeah, so we'll jump up to number 9 on your list, which is Living Daylights. I don't have that on my list. So.
Yes. It's Timothy Dalton's first movie. It's a little bit more grounded and kind of like the book. But obviously with not a complete horrible person. So it's good. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Got a lot of like nostalgia to it. Obviously it's kind of cheesy and not one of the best ones, but I really like it. Goes nicely in my number 9 slot. Also has one of the nicest Aston Martins. So
okay, nice. Living Daylights. Not sure on that one. I don't think I like Dalton. Based on my list, I would say I'm definitely more of a Connery, maybe a Brosnan 1 or 2, but love me some Daniel Craig as well. Because at number 9, I have Sean Connery in Thunderball.
Yep. Was the highest grossing one for a long time.
Pretty exciting.
I call this my sleep one, where I put it on because it's got a great soundtrack, and I've seen it a million times, and it's long enough for you to get a real good sleep.
And this one, see, James Bond heads to the Bahamas to recover 2 nuclear warheads stolen by Spectre. All right, look at that. I know there's a plane underwater at some point. They have to go scuba diving. Ooh, baby, it's pretty exciting, that Thunderball.
Oh yeah, this was the period of time where they thought underwater fights were just so exciting. You know, like it actually makes it look really slow and boring.
Well, and it's definitely, I can see them trying to do some of an experimental, and you've never seen this before in movies because it was back in the day. So yeah, okay, sure. Thunderball. Who do you have at number 8?
I got On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
I don't think I have that one, so.
Which is surprising to me because it's like, well, this one's actually fantastic. I mean, it's I'm blanking on the name and it's killing me. What's his face is the only one. That's a good description.
George Lazenby.
George Lazenby, yes. Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, it's like got a lot of the cliches that you actually like assume with it. And I swear, without this movie, we do not get Austin Powers. So Like we
Really?
need this movie in our lives.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
absolutely. This is the only James Bond movie where he wears that like frilly little like neckerchief thing that Austin Powers rocks that entire first movie. Like he just is wearing George Lazenby's outfit.
Really? Because
in this
I'll be honest
franchise.
with you, I definitely feel like there's a lot of maybe from Russia with Love, or definitely The Spy Who Loved Me. There's a lot of The Spy Who Loved Me in Austin Powers, which is my number 8.
Oh,
And
interesting. And I have that higher up.
okay, yeah, okay. So we'll talk about it then. Then we go to my number 7, which is Doctor No. Your number 10.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the first one. Like it's really interesting but like super cheesy enough of the time. But this really, without this movie, you don't really get this franchise kicked off the ground. And
Yeah.
the first 4 movies of this like series are like some of the best. So if you just watch like the first 4 and then the Daniel Craig era, and like you
Yeah,
get yourself pretty far. You throw in a Pierce Brosnan, you got almost the whole package.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a grounded adventure. It's a little bit, it's got some over the top moments, but essentially it's kind of definitely grounded in reality, being the very first movie that was released. And it's my number 7. I don't know why it was so
Yes.
highly rated.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of just like overall quality, it's pretty good start to finish, right? And it doesn't have like, it has a little bit of action, but it's never over the top. Whereas I do feel like there's something to be said about just like fight scenes that are just pointless. Like, oh, I punch, and then there's this choreography, and then we punch again, and now I fall into a crate, and now I punch you, and then you throw a barrel at my head, and then you punch me, and then you're choking me, and then you punch me, and then a key, and then like, oh, you get stuck in a gear, and that's how you die. And I'm like, stupid. Like, what was all the punching about then? I don't like. You punched one guy in the head earlier, and he knocked him out, but this guy took 20. You know, like it's just always that kind of a little bit of disbelief. You don't get a lot of that only belief, and if you like monsters. A lot of monsters in this one. I don't. You didn't put numbers, so I'm actually not sure. We just did 7, so I think we're on your 6th. You're gonna have to tell me what that is because I have to count.
So
6. You have
I said we're on 7. You named 7.
okay.
Doctor No. That was the second time on the list. Number 7 for me is From Russia with Love, which
Perfect.
comes up later on your list.
Okay, excellent, perfect. Good thing you've never done a top. This is our first top 10 list, so we'll figure this out. Number 6, right on yours. What do you have at number 6?
I got No Time to Die.
And I have that higher up on my list. Okay, so that means we go to my number 6, which is Goldeneye.
Yes, and I have that higher up on my list.
Okay, so then that puts us at 5, and I have
Yeah.
From Russia with Love.
Yeah, and then I guess we could talk about From Russia with Love now. Wow, that's a bit of a handful and a half. Okay, From Russia with Love. It's good. I mean, it's a lot of. This is the classic one that everybody always like points to and says it does really interesting things. His best bet, like first good villain, Robert Grant, the guy from like Jaws or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He plays the blonde villain, and it's like pretty solid. I think it's like it's very like of its time. But basically, James Bond needs to like take this Russian girl who's apparently in love with him, but really it's a Russian ploy to like get a sleeper cell. They're like, we'll just get this woman to seduce James Bond, and that's the movie as he tries to escape. And it's all right. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, this is
I
the
know a
one
lot of
where
people
he
love it,
gets
but-
on a train, and then he's just on the train, and they get off the train, and then he, with his rifle, shoots down a helicopter, and then they're on boats, and then it's over.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
And it's like, wow, apparently I don't remember. I remember the stupid Japanese or the gypsy fight scene. Not Japanese. Gypsy fight scene is just like terrible. It's like, why is this shoved into here? And you're like,
Right, and it gets...
this movie is written by like, this is based on a crazy person's writing. And they just like, well, we have to have this scene in here. Like, no, you could cut this. This does not need to be here.
I think my fun fact, so I have 3 fun facts, and I think my fun fact was this is the first movie that showed the Aston Martin as James Bond's car, 1973's, and it saw something like an increase in 4 times the amount of sales after the release of this movie.
I could see that.
Because
I
it
could see
became
that.
like the cool car or something like that. So that's kind of this movie's kind of claim to fame. But with that, I believe that also means that somewhere in the hodgepodge we end up on. Oh, you put numbers there. Look at that. Beautiful. I mean, I still don't know where we're at. Okay, so I did Russia with Love, so that means we're on your 5, which is The Spy Who Loved Me, which is the second time it came up, which means we talk about The Spy Who Loved Me now, right?
Yes, you got it.
Okay, so this is the one where James Bond investigates the hijacking of a British and Russian submarines carrying nuclear warheads with the help of KGB agents whose lover he killed. Oh, this is the one where he goes skiing at the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
And he has the Union Jack thing, and it's very like funky. It's like the funky James Bond soundtrack. It's all right. I have a soft spot for this one because I know it's kind of like cheesy, and Jaws is there. You can get the introduction of Jaws. The villain has like this awesome evil layer. It's like these were a lot of like the goofy tropes can't come from. And I'm here for it.
I see a lot of
so
Dr. Evil, yeah, for sure, in this movie. Or I'm like, oh yeah, interesting. So interesting fact for The Spy Who Loved Me. The submarine car that he has at one point, they're driving in this car and they crash in the water, and the girl's like, oh my god, no, it's so scary. But she also is like, but this car's a submarine. I saw the blueprints earlier. And then they're just fine. Apparently, what's his Mr. Tesla? What's the Tesla guy's? Really smart billionaire guy, Elon Musk. Elon Musk, huge James Bond fan. He actually used the design of the submarine car for the Cybertruck. So it was his inspiration for creating his vehicles. He wanted vehicles to look more kind of like cool, like James Bond, because he loves James Bond. So pretty cool guy, that Elon Musk.
I was going to say, like, the Lotus Esprit is a gorgeous car, and that's what this is based off of. And, like, this is what it is, I think. And it made me always want to have a Lotus. Like, I know they're, like, expensive, not reliable, but dang it, do I love a wedge-shaped car.
Oh, that's fair. Sweet. So that wraps up. We're on to the top 4, and we might have... I don't know if we've talked about all these movies yet, but we'll find out.
We're gonna hit a lot of similar movies soon. I just said number 5. You said your number 5.
So now we're number 4, which is No Time to Die.
Yes.
And you have that at 6. So we talked about it now.
At 6.
Okay.
Yep. The last hurrah of Daniel Craig as James Bond. Oops. And yeah, it's he has to go rescue his daughter, who's been kidnapped by Rami Malek, and he ends up sacrificing himself at the end. Spoiler.
Well,
First
it's kind of
James Bond ever dies.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of the last hurrah. It is the conclusion of this quadrilogy of James Bond films, right? That kind of sort of had a through line, rough, like, but vaguely, right? All of a sudden, you kind of end up with this, introduction to the Spectre organization as kind of like a shadowy thing, and then you just get the big grand conclusion in this movie. It's not horrendous, it's not terrible, right? I think I have it at number 4, rated at 7.3. We're watching it a few years ago, and it being okay, pretty hefty runtime at 2:43, but it's all right. It gets you there. It's an okay conclusion to the Daniel Craig movies.
Yeah, well, endings are hard.
Yeah.
It's ballsy of them to be like, no, we're actually going to end the story with a bang and have James Bond die. I saw this one in theaters a couple times, being a big James Bond fan, and it was like that first time watching it, I was like, I don't know what I just watched. It was awesome, but like, I was not prepared for this emotionally.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, I get it.
So.
I mean, I haven't watched the last Creed 3, because I think Rocky dies, and I don't know if I can watch my hero die. So that's a thing between me.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
So you just talked about... No, we just talked about...
No Time
4.
to Die.
So
my number 4 is Goldfinger.
But I have it high up on my list, and my number 3 is Goldfinger. So now we talk about Goldfinger. Okay.
Yep. The quintessential James Bond movie has some of the greatest shots. If you've seen a James Bond movie from the past, it's probably Goldfinger.
Yes. Maybe Goldfinger has the Ashton Martin. Because I think he has the car when he's with the girl and they're in like the hunting club, and she gets shot. And he's like, "Oh, this is serious. I see. I can't screw around anymore. You're killing my girlfriends." So I don't know what my fun fact from Russia with Love is.
there's a bunch of rats, and they had to spray paint these white rats brown because you can't get brown rats because those are wild rats. I know that's the thing when they're roaming around in the sewers.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, it probably wasn't a very interesting fact, so we'll just go with that. So one of them had to do with a car.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, this one has a beautiful car.
Yep.
Like you get a bunch of beautiful shots and like them in the Alps or whatever. You get these like pretty interesting set pieces, like even in the beginning where he has to like blow up. He has to blow up something I can't remember. Oil. Let's say an oil tanker.
Sure.
Has to blow that up, and then as he like getting back to the hotel, I think this is where he famously like switches out of his wetsuit and goes into like the standard tux. And everybody's like, "Wow, that's so unique and interesting." Like, is it? It's kind of crazy, but I guess that's actually a real thing. Like they developed something that works like that.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did see a lot of Austin Powers again, like Austin Powers and Goldmember. It's very kind of similar parallels kind of between the two stories, right? And you just see between, I think, again, For Russia with Love, The Spy Who Loved Me, Goldfinger, very big inspiration, kind of some of the drawing points from. But again, a big good parody like an Austin Powers probably looks like a little bit of every James Bond movie, right? So kind of the nature of what they did there. So that means Goldfinger's off the list. That means we talk about your number 3. I was just thinking, man, we flew through this list. We have like nothing else to talk about, and then I see your big fat number 3 coming at my face, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess the last couple movies are pretty good. So maybe we need to talk about number 3. Tyson, what's your number 3?
Goldeneye.
Yeah, GoldenEye's pretty good. So
it's a great movie. You got basically Alex Trevelyan as like evil James Bond.
Yep.
You got that awesome like jumping off the dam scene. All the side characters are actually like, and that's one thing that I think James Bond movies struggle with. It's like, who was he paired with? Mm-hmm. Who knows? What's the girl's like? Match the girl in the movie because they all kind of blur together. This is the first time like Natalia actually has like a personality and has like motivations and like she actually has a narrative. Like, wow, what a novel concept.
Yeah, and the sets were bigger on this one, right? This is the first time where it feels like James Bond is kind of like a blockbuster movie, right? It's starting to get kind of that 90s approach where, oh, we filmed actual military jets and like, oh, this is great. This just doesn't look like it was filmed, just off the beach where they were filming Gilligan's Island on some type of like tanker or something in the Caribbean, right? Kind of seeming a little bit more corny. It was a big set. It was the debut of the new James Bond, right? This new cool kind of hip next generation Bond with the Brosnans coming out. It had the big tie-in video game, which kind of just helped increase its popularity and probably brought James Bond back into the mainstream a little bit, specifically with like a new generation. Right, and they've always been kind of good about kind of the reinventions of the James Bond character, right? As we'll see probably in maybe one of the upcoming movies. But it just, it did seem bigger, more surreal, and it's just enough globe-trotting to kind of make sense, right? I find lots of times in these James Bond movies, it's like, oh, he just goes to Cuba for some reason. So they have a car chase, and you're like, why? So I go to the next place, and you're like, Like, I like the Mission Impossible movies. I couldn't tell you why is he on the Burj Khalifa? I don't know. I know he goes, and it's a cool scene, and he was actually on it, and I'm like, that's neat. But, like, why? I don't know. Some of those details get lost a little bit, right? But I think GoldenEye is pretty cohesive for the most part, as opposed to, actually, most of the movies at the top of this list become a bit more cohesive, so.
Yeah. And it even got an awesome video game. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Yeah, that was pretty huge. That means that's my number 2, which is Skyfall.
Yeah, I have that higher up on my list.
Okay, and who do you have at number 2?
I got Casino Royale.
Nice, excellent. So that means we just have the last 2. Maybe we'll do a recap. No, let's talk about my number 1. We'll do a recap, then we can talk about your number 1 because it's probably the better movie. So Casino Royale is my number 1, the highest rated movie on IMDb, sitting at a big whopping 8.0. So it's pretty high up there. This is the introduction. So after earning a license to kill, Secret Agent James Bond sets out on his first mission as 007. Bond must defend a private banker funding a terrorist in a high-stakes game of poker. Or defeat at the Casino Royale in Montenegro.
Yeah. It's a tight movie. It's actually really good. I think it's one of the shortest book, minus the short stories. Okay. So it's very tight, and really when you're reading the book, it basically plays out like this.
Okay.
this movie, and it was a great choice for them to like. Well, we need to read. Here's a new James Bond. So what do? Let's go back to the beginning and actually like tackle Casino Royale.
Yep.
So it was a very interesting choice doing like Daniel Craig essentially did the first movie and the last movie, if you want to consider it all one big old timeline. It's like, but it's very interesting. And I think that this one, I like that. I've placed this one quite high on my list and I love it. And it holds a dear part in my heart because it was kind of the movie that got me back into James Bond movies.
Sure.
Because after like Die Another Day, I was like, maybe I don't like James Bond anymore. And then like in comes Daniel Craig and I'm like, okay, I can get behind this.
Yeah.
So
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it is that kind of that reiteration of the water did just kind of got, and I don't know what it was in reference to, right? Maybe it was, people like all the gadgets from the video game, and James Bond needs so many gadgets, and right now we're at a point in filmmaking where we can't do anything too visually interesting. We're kind of just using computers, but we can make lots of fun toys and gadgets, and Pierce Brosnan kind of became like the quippy one-lining joke of a character. I'm pretty sure there's a movie where he has a car that drives through an ice palace and he like windsurfs from like a giant satellite.
That's Die Another Day.
And it just became kind of this like bastardized, like, what are we doing? Like, he's just a stupid comic book cartoon character, right? Like, he's not, it's supposed to be James Bond. He's this cool, larger than life, right? So they did have to kind of readdress his down to earthness, make it a bit more gritty, a bit more real. This is the time when we're going for that, right? We're getting our Dark Knights, we're getting our kind of more realistic takes on some of these characters, right? And it was just a resettling and just a sense making James Bond cool again, right? Cleaning some stuff up. They did some practical effects, right? And just made the world simpler. He had a defibrillator in his car that brings him back to life. It's not like his watch, became an AED and he was able to use his watch. Like it was a bit more kind of in key. So it does just kind of.
There's very little lasers in these movies.
Yes.
Where I feel like there was always lasers in Pierce Brosnan's.
Well, I mean, look at like Goldfinger, right? That's the iconic one where he's locked to a table and he has a big saw coming after him, right? And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, the classic. This is how I win, right? Whereas the Mads Mikkelsen character from Casino Royale just kind of seems, he's like, I kind of look like I'm just the evil Hannibal Lecter guy, so I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah. And pretty like decent action, interesting like story like telling, because it like we still have a third act after the whole casino and the whole like main missions kind of wrapped up, and it's like that's very interesting. I'm like, I love how they kind of do like this tacked on like third act of him being like, nah, I'm done with it. Me and Ava Green are gonna go run off and get married. And you're like, I would do the same thing, my friend.
Yeah.
So
solid.
Great,
awesome.
Great movie.
Sweet. So with that, let's just do a quick recap. Just make sure we did talk about everything, because we did kind of jumble and run through a little bit. So I'll just kind of give you a recap of mine. So at number 10, I have Spectre. Believe we talked about that. Yeah. There's a train. Dave Bautista's on it. He gets knocked off. Number 9, Thunderball. They're swimming. Number 8, I have The Spy Who Loved Me. I believe we talked about that one as well. Number 7 is Dr. No. 6 is GoldenEye. I know that. We just talked about it. 5 is From Russia with Love. 4 is No Time to Die. 3, Goldfinger. And 2, Skyfall. So
yes.
There's only... Oh, and number 1 is Casino Royale.
Yes. And mine is 10 is Dr. No. 9 is Living Daylights. 8, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. 7, From Russia with Love. 6, No Time to Die. 5, The Spy Who Loved Me. 4, Goldfinger. 3, GoldenEye. 2, Casino Royale. And my number 1 is Skyfall, which we haven't talked about yet. So.
Awesome. Solid. Skyfall, number 1, was number 2 on my list. I think it's like a 7.8. It's right up there. I'm surprised it's not higher rated, because when it came out, it was talked about as one of those reinventive movies. It was a kind of a compelling, awesome narrative, probably around the same time as I want to say, like people were saying it was like Dark Knight levels of storytelling. It was so epic. It was so awesome. I'm just like surprised it's a little bit lower on the ratings. If you're unfamiliar, so James Bond's loyalty to M is tested when his past comes back, or when her past comes back to haunt her. MI6 comes under attack. 007 must track down and destroy the threat, no matter how personal the cost.
Yeah.
bit more gritty, bit more real, right? It has kind of that
interesting villain.
Yeah,
it's a good time.
interesting villain, like kind of a nice. It's a good, great place for a climax. It's not in the big building. It's not the big set. It's just a clean shoot 'em up, right? It doesn't have the mindless action. I think it's done well. It's a compelling story. It does have like the Avengers. Oh, maybe that's what it was compared to Avengers, because it's kind of like, I mean, it's the same plot. Like midway through, a villain's like, "Oh no, how did you beat me?" And you're like, "Oh, little tricky guy." So, but yeah, no, excellent, awesome movie, great performances. Expands a little bit of like the James Bond mythos in an interesting way, right? It's almost like it's telling you a story that you kind of knew, right? And I kind of like the storytelling technique from the Skyfall movies, right? James Bond movies are kind of, from a narrative point, dud. Like, they're duds. There is no character development. James Bond, oh, he's the best at everything. Of course he's going to do it, right? So it's just kind of like, hey, perfect guy, go do the perfect thing over here where we need help. But this is one of the movies that does feel like there's a bit more character development from some of the other characters, right? Like, you get a lot more from M. They use Judi Dench in an amazing way, right? Good villain. Bond maybe has like some growth, right? Has a challenge that he has to overcome in this one that isn't just like, can you press the button in time, James? Which sometimes is just how he resolves that's his like character development. Oh, he did press the button. Oh, thank God. But this one, I think, yeah, like from an actual narrative and like what more you can get from it than just like pretty pictures and like cars. Skyfall, I think it's probably one of the better James Bond films.
Yeah, I mean, I love this franchise, but if you kind of only have time for one, or if you're new to it and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to like these, I always kind of just like steer everybody to watch them. Like, Skyfall is just like a solid movie. You don't have to like James Bond to like this movie. It's good. As opposed to some of the other ones, which are a little bit more like, there's not a lot of people going out of their way to watch like You Only Live Twice or something, like kind of like Octopussy or whatever. It's like, I do, because I like these movies, but that is so far from what everybody else would do. Skyfall, I'm like, I could see just like putting it on because everyone could enjoy it.
The one thing I'm surprised is Moonraker isn't higher on your list, because when we reviewed it last year, I do remember saying, I was like, this is like, all in all like a pretty fun movie, and you're like, oh, it is one of my favorites, right? So I kind of suspected.
I was debating to have it as like my number,
like, it's
10-ish.
It's definitely better than Dr. No.
Yeah, it might be better than Living Daylights. I don't know. I watched it. I watched it so much that I'm kind of like, I don't need to watch this movie for maybe a year or two.
Okay. I mean, that's also fair, too. If you're like, right now, it's not. Maybe it'd be higher up, depending on when you ask me, and that's fair. So, but that wraps up our show. 30 minutes. I was expecting a little bit longer, but I also don't have a lot of input. Again, lots of these movies I've seen years ago. Couldn't tell you the exact plot unless I was reading off IMDb. And couldn't defend some of my choices. Plus, I forgot one of my fun facts. I had 3 fun facts. You only got 66% out of me today. I'm sorry. 67%. Let's round up. Yeah, okay. I'll take that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more familiar with these movies than you are. But I like, if we were doing this compared to like Mission Impossible movies, I'm going to be like, I'm not going to lie, I know the first movie. And the second one is like a blurry mess of slow-mo. And that's about as far as I got. So at some point, maybe in the near future, I'll rewatch all the Mission Impossibles. Then I can...
Yeah, start at 3, work your way forward, and then go back and watch 1 and just... I mean, 2's actually... You just know it's stupid. You're like, I guess it's just the dumb one. Okay.
There's always those 90s, like... Yeah. Stinkers.
Yeah, so. Well, I guess we didn't know what we were doing with this franchise. But with that, I think we're done. We're back in a couple weeks. We are playing starting a big game series. One of our big retrospectives, one of maybe 2 or 3 that we're going to look at this year. So, actually, a small episode for a big game. I started doing the outline already, and yeah, it's interesting. The first show is kind of just fluff, so we'll get fluff a little while.
Well, there's one thing we'll discuss after off air, because like, it's related to the next game series, and I was like, do we do this? So I'm running it past you.
Oh, there's a different game series that we're playing, which is just a part of the game. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Okay, never mind. Yeah, we're playing a different game series that isn't just fluff. It's actually kind of James Bondy. Anyways, we'll play that for a bit. So we'll see you guys in a couple weeks when we're playing that game. I need to not stop talking to you on our chatting service. I need to actually stop the recording. So we'll say bye and see you guys in a couple weeks.
See ya.
Goodbye.